lots of action in the Strait of Hormuz in this back half of March 2026 with all the continued conflict in Iran. So let's look at how that's affecting oil and equity index futures. So here is the daily chart of oil futures. I have price action, market timing I may consider, as well as momentum because I'm HEMA ready and that's what I do. Now, we can see that ever since the conflict started a couple weeks ago, we've had a lot of drama in oil. But these swings have been ones that we can monitor intraday as well. So this daily chart shows that we had a higher open, and at the moment we may be set to close lower in oil. But let's take this same chart and just move it down to a 15-minute time frame for more detail. Now here on this 15-minute time frame, there's been a little bit of a recovery higher in oil after, again, coming down lower overnight based on what was being discussed about oil getting moving in the Strait of Hormuz, the US permitting ships through, looking for help from other countries to help manage the area and more. But it's going to remain probably a pretty volatile time for oil in terms of these movements that are so tied to what is said politically and what's done militarily. So at this juncture, when I look at the chart, I like to still start at the hard right edge and get my perspective like I've been sharing in recent videos. And right now we're in a recovery higher. Prior to that was a high, a low, and a high. So we're still technically in a downtrend off of this high back around 102, okay? So what I wanna really focus in on is this current recovery that we see unfolding. How much room does it have to go? Because I don't think, personally, that this is going to take oil in the next few hours or day or two to new heights, but it may bring it higher before another drop lower. So I'm going to do a little bit of forecasting here. All right, so I've created this forecast here in oil. Again, this is a 15-minute chart, and this is a magnet on price and time, pulling it up and to the right potentially for oil to trade up to 97.26 by 4:30 p.m. Eastern today. So this is on a chart that has all trading hours viewable. So this is a short-term forecast. And this is the way I recommend using forecasting in this kind of market environment where any tweet, any news, any press conference could really shake things up. Now, I do not think that once it gets to that target, it's just going to drop back lower. It depends, again, on what's being said. However, if it continues up into that target and the RSI stays beneath the bear resistance power zone, that could be the beginning of the fuel to the next downside move. And we have the 4 zones RSI coverage system, which is our most popular trading course that dives deep into the RSI power zones. I just gutted it and retaught it and restructured the entire thing here in 2026. So this might be on special right now. So make sure you're on our email list and keeping an eye on your emails to get it at its best available price if you're interested in learning more about the RSI power zones. All right, now let's take this over to the ES charts. On the ES chart, I want to show you a forecast I made this morning. That's right, well before the market opened, and I shared this in my ES Futures Outlook service via my Skinny on the Mini report. Now, do note that the E-mini S&P 500 futures as of today, March 16th, are now on the June contract. That's the rollover date from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and I now follow the rollover date in order to make sure I'm trading the contract that is considered the front month. So here's what's pretty cool. This forecast could have been made as early as 7 a.m. Eastern, right, when that bar closed. And it was for futures to trade up to 6779.5 by 3 p.m. Eastern today. Well, check it out. This was definitely a useful forecast, even though it wasn't hit on the nose yet. So we had a move higher to 6778.25, just 1.25 points shy of that target. Pretty awesome, right? And it did it early, which meant that the move just happened faster than the forecast projected based on the cycles underlying it. So forecasting isn't about hitting it on the nose every time. It's about having a helpful guide, that magnet that shows you which way prices are being steered. And if you want my take on the ES Futures via the Skinny and the Mini report, this is now available in the ES Futures Outlook. It's just $47 a month, and you get the analysis every time I sit to write it, which is at least 3 days a week. All right, with that being said, what I see right now on the ES Futures, so I'm going to remove this forecast because it's not my current focus. We've essentially moved towards it, and I want to, with a fresh, clean chart here, try to figure out where we might be headed. So unfortunately for the ES, and this would make sense because of what I'm seeing on the oil with the slight move higher, I don't think it's going to get past this 10 a.m. range from Friday, March 13th. I think it's probably going to continue to drop back lower for the rest of the session, but then we'll see from there. And then I'll revisit the chart again, look at it fresh Tuesday morning, and share my insights in the skinny and the mini. So I just wanted to show you again, I've done this recently and I'll continue in these very interesting times, how you can take the same techniques that work during quiet times, price action, market timing, momentum, and apply them. I just recommend going smaller on the moves you're trying to project. Instead of trying to look at what's going to happen for the next several days or weeks, try to just take it intraday. And if you're a position trader, what this can help you do is have a better entry, whether you're doing long-term trades or you're a swing trader. If you're an intraday trader, like a day trader or a scalper, well, obviously you're already looking at intraday charts, but this is a reminder of how to best apply the analysis. So if you found value in these takes on oil and the ES, on the current market conditions, or the reminders about how to deploy my trifecta analysis, or both, go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next video.